right. Today, learning how your emotions impact your energy. And this is so important in life and business. And Jen and I are going to talk live about it today because recently we've been tracking our cycles to figure out how to leverage in a very creative way all of our energy flows. And so we've been learning. And now we want to share, and we've known, and now we want to share it in a container that really helps you understand what it means to actually track these cycles and understand them. Amazing. Okay, Jen, where are you? Here you come. Okay, awesome. Yay.
Yay.
Slow Monday.
Well, we are in retrograde.
Oh, again?
Yeah. Yesterday, today we just went, well, Mercury went retrograde. Yeah.
And this is why it's so important to understand these energy cycles, right? What you're feeling, how you want to show up, and ways you can shift it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But today we're specifically really talking about the emotional wave and people who maybe have a defined solar plexus or an undefined solar plexus, and why we've been tracking that recently through our membership Planning by Design, actually, to help us understand how to leverage our creative peaks and put out more content, go with our energy, go with our flow, and feel super ease around it.
Yeah, and emotions are huge, especially as we get closer to 2027. Like we are just more sentient beings, right? We're deconditioning. Like now it is prided upon, I guess you could say, to feel your emotions, to let them out. Someone was just saying about their dad, holding everything in. And I was just like, wow, like that's really so old paradigm to not recognize your emotions and be able to, if not fully express them, just be able to recognize how you're feeling. Because I always use the volcano analogy, right? When we compress our emotions, when we try to hold them in, it just really fills up that volcano and then you are going to erupt. And I'm sure everyone here watching live, watching the replay has experienced that. And that's
Yes.
not typically something that we want to happen. So the more that you can diffuse them, let them out, find ways to express them, move that energy through your body, like there is so much importance, especially now in our emotions, and especially for anyone with a defined solar plexus. That triangle on the bottom right side of your chart, if it is colored in, you are an emotional authority, part of half of the world, and I think likely a growing population where we need to really honor our emotions, feel them, and make decisions based on our emotions, which like it's crazy. It still sounds kind of like, wait, what? But it's like, no, this is what we really need to do.
Yeah. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me to learn as a manifesting generator. I wanted speed. I wanted to like have an answer right now. And I used to be jealous of the people who had that sacral authority that could just make decisions like this. But once I learned and understood my emotional wave, it allowed me to understand, right, how to make those decisions. And it allowed me to understand also when I'm showing up in these decisions, what it feels like to feel lit up by that, to know, to understand what that emotional wave is and when I should say yes and when I should say no, which is huge.
Yeah, it really is. So I love how we honor all these energy cycles within Planning by Design, our monthly membership for female entrepreneurs for goal setting and accountability. So within this, Mistral and I just talking before, we realized that on our monthly planning, we actually left out the emotional cycles. Like we're both emotional authorities. Like Mistral said, we were just going really quickly, getting that together to launch this program. So we're really excited to be able to update that so that emotional authorities especially can track this because it's how we make our decisions. So as we're finding alignment, finding ways to support ourselves, to support our clients, to feel through the decisions in our business can take time, right? The motto is to sleep on it. So you need to give yourself at least 24 hours. And I love, Mistral, what you were saying about checking in 3 times a day with your
Mhm.
emotional authority. How am I feeling about this now? How am I feeling about it now? And the more that you can recognize that and see where you are on your wave, where you're moving, that lower vibration where you might not feel so great to that really high vibration, sometimes feels like manic because you're just so positive, you're so ready to go, and then you come back down. So, noticing how you're feeling on different parts of your wave to find clarity within that. Is this a good decision for me? How does it feel within my body?
Yeah. And, I think with the emotional wave too, is there's different types of waves. And so it's learning to understand, I have two waves, for example. I have in my family, I have more waves again. And so it's learning to understand like my emotions, my kids' emotions, writing them out and teaching them as best I can how to have that emotional. I don't want to call it emotional regulation necessarily, but emotional
Mm,
awareness more
yes.
so around what's coming up and why it's coming up and why we might like, I don't know why I feel this way, mom, I just feel this way. And understanding that better because that was hard to understand as a kid. So it's that deconditioning for myself and now being able to pass it on to my kids too. And one of the things with the emotional wave that I noticed a lot, again, coming back to being a manifesting generator, is when I make decisions in my high peak, sometimes I can fully regret that the next day because I haven't waited. And so, or I can be like, oh, that was a missed opportunity. I should have said yes. Why did I say no? And so, and then I get the FOMO, right, of wanting to do everything and try everything. And so it is so important to understand when that neutral decision can be made so that you're not disappointed in the decision you did make at the time.
Right. And we really have to wait for that clarity because when we make decisions in the moment, especially for me as a projector, non-sacral, like I could be feeling and absorbing someone else's sacral energy. And especially being open on top, I'm seeing how much my undefined ajna, like just absorbing, trying to answer everybody's questions, right? And it's like, sure, I'll do that. And then, yeah, usually leads to regret. So we really definitely need to wait, to pause. And honor how we're feeling in the moment and trust that, okay, we're going to move along our wave. And I'm just thinking for anyone who's watching, if you are the other half, right, with a non emotional, any other authority other than emotional, none of this advice fully applies to you. Well, it does in the sense of like, feel your feels, honor them, right? But you're not going to ride this fixed emotional wave. And just to clarify, like, what is this emotional wave? Because I love how in planning by design it's energetic cycles that we talk about. So this is an energetic emotional wave. Emotions have different frequencies, different vibrations, and when you're on the bottom of your wave, you are feeling the lower vibrational emotions, which could be sadness, depression, melancholy, black, just that.
Anxiety.
Yeah, there's so much. And then when you are up on top, you're feeling that high vibration. Like you are so joyful. You may be impulsive, right? You really want to answer yes, because you're on
Yes.
that high.
Yep.
Um, right. So that's why you just honor, okay, wow, I'm feeling on the top of my wave. If I need to make a decision, I need to wait and feel through all of the energies, all of the vibrations to make sure that this is still I don't even want to say full body because it gets even more complicated that our emotional authority yeses is really only 60 to 80%. So it's kind of rare that I have a full body yes. When I do, my conscious sun, like that lets me know it's anticipation. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really anticipating this. That lets me know like this is a yes. But in decision terms, like I'm called indecisive, apathetic. I absolutely am because I'm just like teetering on this. I'm like, it's 50-50. And because it's 50-50, it's a no.
Yep. Yeah. And learning the yeses and the nos, that can be a challenge. So, so we've given you all this great information, and I know it's sometimes a lot to process and digest. And so, like next steps from here, obviously, Jen and myself both do one-on-one consults, but then we have, oh, Jen has a really beautiful workshop that she has for $22. So 2 hours, I think you said it was, Jen?
Yeah, it's either 90 minutes or 2 hours. It's on my website. So if you're interested, DM me or Mistral will get you the link to purchase that. It's a replay from a masterclass that I did, I believe, last year. Yeah, and it's 90 minutes to 2 hours. We cover everything about what is the solar plexus. What does it mean to have a defined solar plexus? So we go over all of the waves within the emotional authority, how to work with this, all this information that we've talked today. We talk about the undefined solar plexus, those non-emotionals, half the world. We talk about the completely open solar plexus, which is so unique and beautiful. And then the second part, I go into what I call the interpersonal energy dynamics. So what happens when two people are together with either their defined solar plexus, like Mistral and I, we both have our waves that are happening,
Yep.
or with a defined and a non-defined, right? An undefined, non-emotional, and how the energy moves and what we need to watch out for and be aware of. So it is so important to understand this information, to start being aware of it, especially as we're moving into this new paradigm, new energy, everything as we're transitioning through.
Yeah, beautiful, Jen. Thank you. And then come and join Planning by Design so you can start learning how to track the cycles and, hit up your creative peaks just at the right time.
Yeah, these are such important cycles to be aware of because the emotional cycle is so important, especially if you're an emotional authority. So to
Yeah,
pair that with your moon cycles, with your period cycles, with the transit cycles, right? There's so much going on.
so much.
So we just really love supporting the women in this just amazing container. And we start again tomorrow.
That's
So
right.
hop on in, join today, join before noon Eastern tomorrow so that you can be on our first call with us to understand the energies of August, to goal plan, to set your plans in accordance with your energies for the month. You get amazing worksheets that are worth well over $11. To get you started, our support, 2 calls a month, Telegram. It's just, I just love this container.
Me too. Me too. All right, Jen. Well, we'll see you tomorrow at noon on
Yes, we'll
Planning by
see
Design.
everyone tomorrow.